This is green.
All right, come on to your mat. We're going to start on our backs. So start on your back in whatever position is comfortable for you. You can lay down in full Shavasana. You can lay down on your back with your knees up. Let your back soften. I got my hair up in the way. Start to land on your mat. So this is yoga for stress. It's just extremely gentle and slow, mindful class. We don't get up on our feet. We're just trying to find little places of tension to check in with, see if we can release, see if we can shuffle some common places of tension. So start to land on the mat and really feel your hips. Maybe give your knees a little shuffle. Try to let your lower back really soften. That might mean adjusting your feet. If you have your knees up, maybe take them a little further away from the glutes. Maybe let your feet be a little wider and your knees just drop into each other. And then really check in on the neck. So one of the things that is common to do is to push the chin back and try to flatten the neck on the ground. So try and lift the chin to the ceiling and let the natural curve of your neck happen. Maybe take a little shuffle of the chin side to side. And maybe experiment with your arms. Maybe bring them up a little higher, out a little wider, palms up or palms down. Feel what feels better today. Notice that your common pattern that you do might not be the one that feels better. So experiment, see what feels better today. Checking in on how you feel. Maybe bring your eyes closed for a moment and really check in on being on the mat. Trying to close the door on everything outside for now. Taking a little break. Arriving in the here and now. And let's start to bring our focus into our breath, softening our torso and letting our breath arrive more fully. You bring a little more softness to the sides of your rib cage. Notice if you have any gripping up into your armpits. Notice if you have any tightness or gripping under the rib cage and into the stomach. And then we're going to go on to four corners breath, practicing bringing our breath to the four corners of our lungs. And then seeing how that feels. Actively bringing our breath in with our intention. So trying not to do it with muscular force. So we're going to focus in just underneath our rib cage, the lower corners of your lungs. We're going to bring our breath all the way down to the bottom of our lungs. So as you inhale, imagine filling all the way to the very bottom of your lungs, watching your stomach rise and fall with your breath. If it helps, you can even place your hands just underneath your rib cage. Notice any tension that you bring to your body when you start to focus on your breath. Try to keep a soft face. Try to keep the skin of the neck and shoulders soft. Try to keep your shoulders soft. And then bring your awareness to the rib cage, sides of your rib cage, your outer edges of your rib cage. And imagine that you could gently fill up the sides of your lungs. Imagine pressing your breath gently between each rib, expanding between each rib, filling up the side corners of your lungs. And again, soft focus on your breath. Constantly looking for any places that you're bringing in tension. Soften your face. Soften your lower stomach. Soften your neck. And then bring your awareness to your back. And imagine you can fill up the back corners of your lungs so full that you're just gently lifting your body up off the ground with the fullness of your lungs. And again, this is just an awareness. Try not to bring force. Try not to bring that strong force of breath. That's not the practice we're going for today. Just filling up and finding the back of our lungs. Trying to remain soft around the legs and the hips, soft in the face, soft around the temples. And then finally bringing our awareness to the top corners of our lungs, filling up our chest and watching our collarbones rise and fall with our breath. Soft skin on the front of the neck, soft skin on the shoulders. And then let that go. And just land in that center point of the mind as if you could gently fall back from your eyesight and land in the middle of your brain. And just notice whatever is present here, allowing space for whatever is present here. Noticing that you can notice your thoughts. And then perhaps noticing a little space in between the thoughts. If you have your eyes closed, slowly float your eyes open. So blink them open slowly with kindness. And then take a little side shuffle of the knees, side to side. Nice and slow, just waking up the body, feeling the hips. Land the hips on the ground, press the hips into the ground. And then we're gonna bring our shoulders and press our shoulders into the ground. Hands can come towards the ceiling. Press the back of the arms to the ground. Just kind of feel this setup. Feel the feet on the ground. And then we're gonna lift our hips as we breathe in. So inhale, lift our hips. Exhale, lower our hips. Just starting to connect with the breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. So as we lift, start to connect with your muscles. So start to feel the muscles in the stomach lifting the hips, as well as pressing into the heels and firing up the glutes and the hamstrings. Trying to find as many muscles as you can to fire up, and fire up softly, not fire up strong, too strong. Just activate, move, and breathe. Soften the face. Check in on the neck. Try not to bring the chin down to the chest. Make space for your breath. And then bring your hips up and hover the hips. Engage. Trying to keep the hips really steady. Maybe bring the right foot to a hover. So trying to keep all muscles engaged. Right foot to a hover. And then we're going to lift and lower the hips just a little tiny bit. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Small and engaged. Now we should be firing up the glute and the hamstring a little more on that left leg. Right leg is still engaged. Huh? Lower the right heel. See if you can keep your hips to the even position that they're in. Lift and hover the left. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower. Small, tiny movement.
You were sore after yesterday's class.
Firing up the glutes. Lower the heel, lower the hips, plant the hips on the ground. So press them into the ground and bring your hands onto your hips. Then take your knees side to side, nice and slow. What can you let go of when we take these side to side shuffles, when we take the little vibration shuffles? What can you let go of? What can you release? Find your gripping, find your muscular gripping, and let it go. Bring your hips back to neutral, knees back to neutral, heels about hip width apart, and then bring the knees together. Squeeze the knees together. So press the feet down into the ground, squeeze the knees together. Place the arms back down into the ground, the rib cage back down into the ground, and then lift and hover the hips just a teeny bit. Squeezing the knees, squeeze. Squeeze everything from the rib cage down. Tighter, tighter, tighter. Take a deep inhale, squeeze even tighter, and then lower the hips, relax, release. Bring the heels together, bring the knees together, squeeze the knees, squeeze the legs, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the lower stomach, and then lift and hover the hips, squeeze. See if you can squeeze the glutes a little more, maybe push into the heels a little more. Take a deep breath in, squeeze even tighter. And then with the exhale, lower the hips, loosen everything, soften. And take your feet about hip width again. And just take a little shuffle. See how your hips feel. Bring a hand, hopefully you washed your hands, to the forehead. A little pressure of your hand on your forehead and a little pressure of the back of your head into the ground. Connect with these two spots. Maybe you need to take a little adjustment of your chin a little more to the ceiling. Just feel your neck, your jaw. Notice how it feels. And let that go. Take your chin all the way over to the right shoulder. Feel the left side of the neck. Place the left hand pushing down into the ground, palm down into the ground. Feel the left side of the neck. Fire up that left hand. Pressing the arm into the ground. See how that changes the muscles in your neck. Push your arm. Where is your arm? Is it too close to your hip?
Oh, I moved it up. So cute.
Slowly bring the chin back to neutral. Bring the right hand down to the ground. Press into the right hand. Take the left chin. Take the chin over to the left.
Take your left chin.
Take your left chin over to the left. Because apparently you have two chins today.
I have 4.
So just notice this tension in your neck. Notice your natural stopping points. Notice if left and right sides are different. Bring your chin back to neutral. We're going to roll on over to a side and come up to a seated position. So find your comfort item for sitting. We're going to be here for a little bit. So come to a seat. Set up. Find your hips on the ground. Get really tall. If you have a chair, find your hips in the chair too. Get really tall in the spine. Bring a little awareness to the lower core, just a little bit, pulling your stomach towards the spine, not too much. Get taller in the spine. Imagine somebody grabbed you by the crown of your head, pulled you a little taller. We're going to focus on head, arms, and neck and shoulders for a little bit. So bringing the head down, chin to chest. Feel the back of the neck. Slowly bring the chin all the way up to the ceiling. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Is that what you're singing back there?
Yes.
Bring the chin back to neutral. And then right ear over to right shoulder. Back to neutral, left ear to left shoulder. Bring it back to neutral. You're going to bring your chin down towards your chest, and you're going to take your head in an extremely slow circle, as slow as you can go, as if you're trying to feel every single angle of the circle. When you come backwards, try not to drop the skull. Have length in your neck. All the way around. And then when you get your chin back to your chest, switch the direction, noticing all of the points of tension. And then bring the chin back to neutral. Focus in on the shoulders and arms. Take the right arm out even with the shoulder. We're going to look at the right arm. We're going to place the palm down, then turn the thumb up. The Then watch the shoulder roll backwards and roll it backwards. Let it roll backwards. So all the way back as far back as you can let the shoulder roll. And then we're going to roll it all the way forward. Thumb comes down to the ground. All the way back, nice and slow. Trying to feel all of the movements of the shoulder. Take a couple of rounds just rolling through the shoulder. I know. That's not normal. Don't do that. That's not like a goal. Alright. Take your arm out. Your palm is going to face forward. We're going to bring our hand back behind us. So slow as you can, back behind you. As far back as you can without really moving the torso. We're just focusing on the shoulder. Then all the way back up. Slow all the way back up. Down, back to neutral. So back to arm, shoulder height. Bring your palm to face the back of the room. Take your thumb all the way behind you. And all the way back up as high as it will go, nice and slow. Bring it back, shoulder height. Bring your palm to press like you're pressing the wall away from you. Activate and really push. So you're really active pushing your arm away from you. Notice if your arm is starting to get heavy. And then we're going to bring this arm behind us so the palm faces back, and we're going to bring it all the way down behind us and then bend the elbow. So bringing that arm behind you so that it's behind your back, but don't push into your back. Push your hand away from your back. So nice and active and strong first. Pushing and active, push it away, push the palm away, and then push the back of your hand into your back. Notice how it changes the muscles in the shoulder. Push the palm of the hand away from you, and then active and slow, bring that arm back. Bring it back to neutral. And then take left and right arms out and feel the shoulders. See how they feel different. And then let's take some shakes. So really flicking the hands, getting some shakes in the arms. Flicking, clearing your space, shaking the arms. Take little wiggle of the right arm, really wiggling it out, finding wiggles in the shoulder. And then bring it back to neutral. Feel left and right sides. Really checking in on how you feel. That's yoga. Yoga is not the moving of the muscles, but the connection of the moving of the muscles. So starting to feel how they feel. And then bringing the left arm out and turn the thumb all the way up as far as it will go. Watch the shoulder, roll the shoulder. So we're thinking about the shoulder, not just the arm. Roll it all the way down, roll the shoulder. All the way up. All the way down. Bring the palm to face out, thumb up. Take the arm all the way up, nice and slow. And all the way down, nice and slow. All the way up to neutral. Flip the palm all the way up. Nice and slow and with control all the way down. Slow, use the muscles. Find the muscles. All the way back up. Hold the hand out. Still holding it out. Take the hand like it's pushing the wall away from you. Nice and strong. Get a little longer, so make more space from the sternum to the palm of the hand. Really push and reach. Push, push, push. Find some more muscles. Bring it back. We're going to take the palm of the hand. So palm of the hand faces behind you. Slowly bring that hand behind you. Bend the elbow. Bring that hand behind your back. So at first, pushing the palm away from you. So push, 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 active and strong. Longer in the spine. So notice if you start to get some compensation patterns here. Long in the spine. Push away, active and strong. And bring the arm to the back and push the hand into the back. So notice how that changes where it feels in the shoulder. And pushing away from you again. And slowly, with control and using muscles, bring the arm back, out, feel both arms. And then flick it out. Let it go. Really give the left arm a real shake. We're going to work the shoulders in the back. So behind the shoulder blades, upper back. Bring the shoulder blades all the way together. Squeeze them tight. Arms can relax, or if you like, you can have arms strong and active. So opening the hands, making the arms strong, maybe even fists if you like. That helps you connect with strong arms. Otherwise, just keep your arms loose. Focus on the in between the shoulder blades. Lots of choices. See where you're at. See what feels better for you today. So squeezing the shoulder blades together and connect with your compensation patterns. How is your neck? Try not to bring all the tension into the front of your neck, into your face. Soften your lower back a little bit. Maybe you're clamping in on your lower back. Maybe you're squeezing your glutes. Glutes are not working right now. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and then bring them down a little bit further. And then squeeze the shoulder blades together, and we're going to bring them all the way up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze in the middle, and then squeeze all the way down. Squeeze in the middle, and then squeeze all the way up. One more time, down to the middle, down all the way down, middle, and then all the way up. And then bring your shoulders down, neutral. Roll your shoulders all the way forward. Squeeze your shoulders forward. Squeeze them tight. Squeeze them slowly all the way back together. And then let them come to neutral. Take a little shuffle. See how they feel. And then take your chin down to your chest and see how the back of your neck feels. Notice if it's any different. Bring your chin back to neutral. Take your ear over to your shoulder. Feel the opposite side. Doesn't matter which one you do first. Back to center and then over to the other side. Back to center. Take your right hand, press it away from you. So about shoulder height, press the hand so you're nice and strong. So pushing like you're really pushing something away from you. Pressing strong. Feel the arm, the shoulder. And then we're going to press and turn. So turning from the rib cage, press and turn towards the left knee. So crossing the body, you're still pressing. Now we're going to squeeze the core, so find some muscles in between the rib cage and the hips and reach down, still pressing. We're going to push little pulses here, little tiny pulses here, squeezing and pressing. Bring it all the way back up. Take a giant slow circle with this left arm, letting go. And then notice left and right sides. Left arm comes out, press hard. If you have trouble with your wrists, whenever we say press, rather than trying to bring a 90-degree angle, make more space in your wrist and make a claw rather than an open wide hand. Make a claw. See how that makes more space and more room in your wrist for you to be open and strong in the hands and strong in the arms. Press away. So pressing and then press over to the right side. And then we're going to squeeze the core and come down just a little bit towards that left knee, and then little tiny pulses. Notice if you're compensating in your back. We're not using our back. Try and bring this into our stomach. Think about all the times you reached and grabbed something, your shopping bags. Think about the muscles that you use and try and train the stomach to do a little more work in this position, and then bring it all the way back to neutral and take a giant circle with this left arm. Bring the hands together, interlace the fingers and pull the fingers apart, locking the hands. From this position, we're going to pull the sternum closer to the hands and draw it up towards the ceiling, and then pull the sternum back. Inhale, open. Exhale, pull back. Tiny movement just from the rib cage up. Moving with your breath. Inhale, forward. Exhale, hollow out the sternum, hollow out the chest. Let go. We're going to bring our wrists down and turn our fingers towards us, opening up the back of the wrists. And thinking about making a little more space in the upper body, we're going to move from the rib cage up, nice big circles. So taking the rib cage in a nice slow circle. Connecting with your breath. And then see if you can switch the direction of your circle, nice and slow. Back to neutral. We're going to make our way all the way down to our stomachs in crocodile pose. So, I'm trying to think of which way. You can see me better this way. I think it is. So, through tabletop, slowly lower your stomach down to the ground. Find crocodile. So, crocodile can be one of those poses that can be a little challenging. So one hand on top of another, forehead down on top of the hands. Feel all of the points of the body that are touching the ground and notice what comes up. bringing a little strength to the upper back, to the whole back, but a lot to the upper back. So we're going to bring our hands wherever is comfortable, thinking about lifting our shoulders, not the skull. We're going to inhale and lift, and exhale and lower, connecting with our breath. Inhale, lift the shoulders, exhale, lower. And it's not a competition to see who can get the highest shoulders off the ground. You're trying to find the muscles in your back and find places where things are not even. So maybe you're over squeezing one glute more than the other. Maybe you're using your lower back more than your mid back. We're just trying to find and connect with all of the muscles on our back and use them in a nice, soft, even manner, connecting with our breath. Try to take the tension out of the neck and out of the face. Experiment with either pressing your feet down into the ground, pulling your hips up a little, so pulling your stomach towards your hips, maybe a little tilt of the pelvis, see how that changes. And maybe even a little tiny lift of the legs. Nice and slow, connecting with your breath. And then bring it back to crocodile. Shimmy the hips. Loosen and soften, and what can you let go of? Start to connect with your breath in your throat. Connect with the back of your throat. Notice if you have any tightness in your throat. And then we're going to come up to Sphinx pose. So we're going to bring our forearms down to the ground, making some space for our chest to come up. Notice if you get any clenching in the back, the lower back. Try not to come up too high. We want to think about getting our chest lifted, our shoulders a little active, and then more space for each of the vertebrae. So rather than bringing a long arch into the spine, we want to think about pressing the hips a little bit down into the ground, or the feet a little bit down into the ground, and then lifting longer, as if we're pulling the chest through the shoulders. Somebody pulled the crown of your head. It just gave your spine more space between each vertebrae. You can experiment with pulling your arms apart, making your arms and shoulders a little more active, or you can take it softer. We're going to go into a breath and throat clearing practice here. So we're going to inhale in and ha out, lion's breath, with our tongue out. We're going to do that 3 times. We're going to draw in a very long, slow breath in, ha out, with our tongue out. We're going to do it 3 times, and then we're going to return to crocodile. So just for a moment, settling into this pose. Maybe even closing the eyes and really connecting with how your throat feels. And then drawing a long, slow breath in and 3 ha breaths out. Return to crocodile. One hand on top of the other, forehead down. And notice any sensations. into Sphinx pose. Soft Sphinx. So no gripping in the muscles. Nice soft Sphinx pose. We're going to take our right shoulder and give it a little tiny circle. We're going to take our left shoulder and give it a little tiny circle. So nice and soft with these movements. Kind of feeling your upper back, your shoulders. Take this movement, swaying side to side, however it starts to feel good in your body. Left to right, left to right. And then bring back to neutral. And you're going to turn and look at your right foot. Slowly back through neutral and try to look at your left foot. And then start to take any movements in the shoulders that feel good. Left to right, nice soft sways. No muscle gripping. Just moving through the natural movement in your body. And then bring it back, crocodile. Take a really long, slow breath in and ha out, thinking of something you need to let go of. Let it go. Can you soften a little more around the temples? Around the corners of your mouth? And around your neck. And then slowly make your way to a child's pose. So sending the hips back towards the heels. Checking on a little child. Connecting with the lower back. And we're going to come to a tabletop. So if you have knee issues, feel free to place something in under your knees. Or if you do have the chair, you can come to the chair holding onto the chair and just be on your feet. Otherwise, coming to tabletop, we're just going to take some hip circles. So taking some time to feel our hips, tiny engagement of our core and our chest, just feeling our arms. We're going to bring the right knee up. And we're going to take it in a giant, slow circle. So just really thinking about the hip, opening the hip nice and slow. So you can take this up on your feet, holding on to a chair. Take the knee out of the equation. Switch the direction of your circle. Just think about making space in the hip. Take the right leg long, lower the toes, press through the back of the leg. Little slow on and off pulses, opening up the back of the leg. And then switch legs, so set up, lift the left, take giant slow circles with the knee. Reverse the direction of your circle. And then bring the left leg long and press through the heel, opening up through the back of the leg. Lower the knee and take the knees wide. So wide as your mat. over as wide as they feel comfortable. Just starting to feel a little opening in the inner thigh. You're going to send the hips backwards towards the heels and then a little forward. So just a little movement. If you want, you can take this nice and soft, just moving back and forth. Or if you would like to feel a little engagement, really opening up the inner thigh, you're going to try and pull the knees together without letting them move. So active inner thighs, back and forth. Bring the upper body back to neutral. Send the hips back. Find a child's pose, and whatever variation feels good for you. Take a little reset. And then taking your time, swinging on round to a seat. We're going to do a bunch of core work. No, I'm kidding. We're coming down to our backs. So just taking a second to connect with the soles of our feet. So bring the soles of your feet together. Feel the soles of your feet. Press the soles of your feet together. Feel them. And then feel your hips. Maybe move a little side to side. Get a little longer in the spine. And take some butterfly kicks. Just feeling your legs, feeling your hips. Bring your feet back to the ground and make your way to your back. So we're coming to our back. Start to settle in. I'm going to help Kaylee get props. So taking your time to find your way onto your mat in the most comfortable position that you can possibly be in. So we're going into a meditation. Maybe your comfortable position is not on your back. I've had clients that are more comfortable in crocodile. So maybe you're in crocodile for your meditation. Maybe you're in child's. Maybe you like to curl up in a fetal position. Find your most comfortable position for your meditation. Start to settle in. Start to feel your body on the ground. Find your breath. Find your breath and just find it softly. So just seeing it, observing it, watching it roll in and roll out as if it were the waves of the ocean, completely controlled by the moon. Let go of control of your breath, control of your stomach muscles, control of the chest. Can you soften a little more underneath the rib cage? And then take a moment to really check in and ask yourself the question, how am I? How am I mentally? How am I physically? How am I emotionally? How am I energetically? And allow space for the answers to be whatever they are, without judgment. attention to the back of your eyelids. Can you imagine softening all the way around your eyes, like sending your awareness in a circle around your eyes, soften the inner corners, around over the temples, and then around over the cheeks. And then imagine landing in the soft outer edges of your eyes and falling gently backwards. Landing in the very center point of your brain, right at the top of the spinal cord. And imagine you're like a little person that could land here, and you're going to sit here in the center of your mind. You're going to look back towards your eyes. And what is present here? Maybe there are images, maybe you can just see firings of thoughts, maybe there are colors. Just notice what is present here. Try not to label it, just see in your mind's eye, in this little person that you are in the center of your brain. See the back of your eyes, see what is here in your mind. Observe it. Take a moment to take in any distracting sounds. Trying to notice a sound and then let it go. Notice a sound, let it go. And then return back to this screen, as if watching a movie of your own mind. To notice any physical distractions that may have arisen. And just notice them. Maybe give a little wiggle. Maybe give a little attention to any spots that need a little more softness. And then gently return back to just looking at that screen of your mind. And then really settle in. Just noticing. Noticing what is present here, and maybe noticing a few gaps between the thoughts. Noticing what is present, and then noticing maybe some space between what is present. Like noticing the stars, and then noticing the space in between the stars is not entirely empty. It is also full of life.
space, feel free to tune me out, switch me off. I'm going to read from Pixie Light Horse again today. Honoring humility. Thank you for this day of forgiving myself and others. Provide me with the wisdom to strengthen my ego. Open me to feedback about how my words and actions have landed. Help me to self-correct. Let me admit my wrongs and make things right. Help me to make the necessary amends and find my natural gift for compassion and mercy. Let me be teachable. Help me care about the impact that I have. Position me to listen in honor of the voices of others, to let my 2 cents take a back seat. Remind me that my loved ones are on their own journeys, and that sometimes my words of advice are not needed. Help me to know when to serve others with what I have learned, and when to let them learn on their own time. Let me remember that listening is a gift I give to myself and those I cherish, and to give it freely. Help me put down my distractions as a show of support. Help me wait for my turn. Inspire me with your tiny ants, gray wrens, the unmajestic, those who command attention modestly. Remind me of the powerful messages of those quieter in plumage. Show me elegance where there is no grandiose display. Remind me that there are times to make my presence known and times to hand off the talking stick. Teach me to be simple in the presence of divine opportunity in unexpected forms. A child who asks a million questions, a friend working through a dilemma the hard way, a new parent struggling with unforeseen limitations, a social issue in need of mobilization. Gift me the ability to listen for the call to action, to accept, to be grateful, to be warm and welcoming of new intelligence. Instill in me the usefulness of not knowing the answers. Aid me to be an unpretentious learner. Remind me that I can ask for help at any time. Give me the willingness to be vulnerable in seeking my state. Offer me the courage to approach those who might have a map to help direct me. Let me never possess all I need to know. Bless my quest as I listen, learn, and grow in my faith in life's process. So we're coming right up on an hour. Feel free to take a little more time in your resting pose. Otherwise, make your way to your side in a fetal position. Ground down, arrive back in this moment in time and prepare to go back out into the world. And try to familiar pattern finish by coming to a seat. Bringing your hands to prayer at heart space. Bringing your left and right sides to meet in front of your heart. This gesture of accepting yourself as whole and complete, precisely as you are. Still learning, still growing, still whole. Only when you can accept yourself as whole and complete can you accept the journey of others. May we all know love, light, and connection. Thank you so much for joining us.